And just the wheel. Man. Just the wheel.
Alright, so everybody, I forgot to print out our rubrics. Alright, loud and proud, pay attention, take notes, be able to ask good questions at the end. Whenever you're ready.
Alright, so for this year's Grady, my question at issue will be, what are the causes of drug abuse? In this case, drug abuse is a pattern of continuous use of drugs and alcohol that causes health problems, and that can affect your work, and that also affects your social relationship with the environment. So at most times, drug abuse is common in the youth, and it is caused by depression, family, peer influence, and environment. The depression is caused by stress, like in case somebody is in a relationship, has been in a relationship with like a partner for like, let me say 10 years, and this partner cheats on them, they'll get depressed because like they'll get heartbroken, and this leads to depression, and this depression will lead them to use drugs so that they could bury their feelings. And when they use these drugs to bury their feelings, it ends up leading to drug abuse. Then family, like this summer I was in Uganda, and I got a chance to meet with like this guy that deals with most drug addicts and drug cases in Uganda, and he tells me most of the drug cases he got were because of family negligence. Like the youth was the person that was facing this, that was undergoing drug abuse, was neglected by his family due to different circumstances. Like, first of all, he was from a rich family, so the parents were based on business more than, like, were more interested in business more than their children. Were more interested in making money, and so this led to the negligence, and this affected the child's head. So this child, in order to get attention from his parents, ends up involving himself in bad activities, and these bad activities, when he's caught, end up throwing them in jail. And you know, when a person is thrown in jail, the family tends to like push back due to, like, the family does not want to get public shame, so they tend to exclude them and treat them like they're not their own. And this leads to drug abuse because they're also trying to bury the pain. Then another cause of drug abuse is peer influence. Like, most of these people from rich families, like, their friends, like, if they have a friend that has undergone this family negligence and has started using drugs, they'll also end up starting using drugs because they want to fit in society. And this is what has caused a large number, this is what has increased the rate of drug abuse in Uganda, peer influence, because people are trying to fit in society, and they believe that if they do not use drugs, they won't fit in, or if they use drugs, they'll become more social. And so this leads to drug abuse in the end. Then another reason is environment. Like, if you're staying in an environment that, let me say, all of us here staying in a Quaker environment, so we have to practice Quakerism. Like, it becomes part of you. You have to wake up 8:15. You have to be in the collection room for collection. It becomes part of you. So now, if you're raised in an area that everybody does drugs, it's going to end up leading you to do drugs in the future because you're raised like that. It's within you. Like, you've been seeing it all your life, and everyone around you has been doing it. So it's like a custom to do it, in order to also fit in, just like peer influence. Then drug abuse actually. Now let me talk about what it leads to. Drug abuse leads to death, uh, slacking in your work, office work or school work. It leads to it affects your social interaction, like your social relationship with the environment, and yeah, and this, yeah. After that, the end products of drug abuse, like as I researched at most times, or what I was told, is normally death. Normally death, then imprisonment, murder. Like that's where murder cases arise from. Let me see. Unemployment, because nobody wants to employ you after you've been through jail or when you've been a former user of drugs. It has led to suicidal cases. Most suicide cases come due to drug abuse since they're being neglected. Then how it can be stopped, as I was told, is just by. That's what I'm trying to do, like bringing awareness to people, because most people are not aware of these causes. Most of them start off like a person may say, let me use this drug. I can't get addicted. I'll use it today, then I'll use next week. But that's how it starts. It starts with a small sequence. You use it today, the next week you'll say no. Let me use it the other day. Then the other day you'll say let me keep using it, because you become attached to it in some way, and this leads to drug abuse. So this is why I was planning to write about the causes of drug abuse in Uganda, mostly in the youth, because the number has been increasing from year to year, and it's because of unawareness. And I'm thinking if I write this, probably I can bring up awareness, at least in my school, or to the people that get the chance to read my graduation. That's why I'm writing about this question. Any questions?
Very nice.
Oh yeah.
All right, Kevin, you had a question?
Drugs is the only way you solve the problems of neglect,
No, but most cases.
and peer influence is brought upon by drugs, or peer influence makes you.
Yes.
Oh, that's what I was not getting.
So,
So have you ever think about a solution for these problems in Uganda?
no, that's what I'm trying to get to. Like, I'm trying to look at all this, like the causes and everything, and then sum it down to like one solution or a couple of solutions. But there are very many solutions. There's rehab. There's getting people to talk with their family, like talking to these rich parents, to get involved more with their children, like to avoid that negligence part, and also, yeah, for peer influence is just choosing the best people to be your friends. You don't have to choose a community that does drugs, because your friend actually has a big impact on you. So you try to look for people that will put a good impact, not a bad impact, of using drugs. Any other questions?
Got a question, Cindy? All right.
I just want to say real quick, I'm mopping at the steps and everything. I don't know if it'll be dry, but I've never done, so
Okay.
be careful, I don't want anybody slipping.
Okay. All right, so you say that drug abuse is caused in part by family dynamics,
Mhm.
and you use the example of your friend for that? Yes. What would you say is different about family dynamics in Uganda than in other places? What makes Uganda special?
Like, from the time I've been here in the United States, I've realized that parents actually have time for their children. Like the jobs here will give parents time to like attend to their children, like pick them up from school. But in Uganda, there's this thing like we have house helpers. So the parents actually leave their children in the hands of the house helpers. They don't mind so much about them since they are paying somebody to take care of them. So they'll mind about making the money to pay this person and instead neglect the child from having care from the parent. And this is what makes it different.
Oh, I see. So if they need to be picked up from school, it's the house helper that does that. If they need to be driven to a game or something, it's a house helper. Wow.
It's actually that most house helpers know more about a child than their own parents.
Interesting. Interesting. Here is a difficult question, but one that I feel like I should ask. Do you feel like do you feel like there is something in this paper that might address actual or potential drug use on this campus?
I don't think so. Like I've not seen any scenario of anybody using drugs on campus.
Okay.
I don't think there's anything here that makes
All
sense.
right. Okay. All right. That's cool. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.